Shalom, everybody. I wanted to come on here and give you a Christian perspective to the current events in the United States of America. When I use the word Christian, I use it in its original sense, a follower of Christ, a follower of the Messiah. I've got three main points to go over here, and I will try to be brief. But I believe this is important, and as a minister, a pastor, not only of a local congregation, but of a lot of people that follow me that don't have a local pastor, I feel the need to say these things. First and foremost, our allegiance should be pledged to Almighty Yahweh. He is our creator. He is our sustainer. He is the lawgiver. His law is the only legitimate law. I understand sometimes we follow man's law when it doesn't contradict Yahweh's law in order to keep peace in society. But we find so many times in Scripture where people do not follow the laws of man because they contradict the laws of Yahweh. So many examples of that in the Bible. So Yahweh's law is paramount, and our oath of allegiance goes to Him. Our oath of allegiance doesn't go to any country, any flag, any constitution. Our oath of allegiance goes to Yahweh and His law. So don't get wrapped up in supporting a man or an agenda that doesn't align with the righteousness of Yahweh. I have never supported President Trump as a person. I respect the position of authority that he holds in our country, and that goes for any particular person. I respect that position of authority, but I do not believe that he is a righteous man, nor do I believe that Joseph Biden is a righteous man. We get wrapped up in this ideology that says we have to pick between the two, and I'm telling you as a Christian, you don't. You don't have to pick between two bad choices. If you want to vote for who you deem to be the lesser of two evils, I understand the reasoning behind that. I get that. There are some things that I vote in. But don't get wrapped up in supporting a man or an agenda that doesn't align with the laws of Yahweh. Yahweh is watching, and He is watching where your allegiance is pledged. Number two, I have seen and I've heard so much hatred and bullying and ugly, bad words being used by people from all sides of the spectrum. And it burdened me. It burdened me so much the other day that I had to get off of social media, both Facebook and Twitter, and I even deleted Instagram for a while, which Instagram usually for me, it's a private account, so it's just about seeing the pictures of my family, but I got off there for a while just to clear my brain. The reason I got off of there is because of the hate that I saw and the name calling that I saw coming from both sides or all sides. I usually friend every real person, every person that sends me a friend request on Facebook, which is, I guess, my most prominent social media account. I usually accept because I feel like people have feelings and they want to be social media friends, which can be and turn into real friendships. It has for me before. Real life, person-to-person, face-to-face friendships. And I think I'm going to have to change that policy because I've been bombarded with a lot of hateful posts, not necessarily directed at me, but just in general, directed at a certain person or a certain side. And I can't really stomach all the wild conspiracy theories as well. I understand that there can be conspiracies in the earth in which we live, but some people, it's like everything that happens, it has to be a conspiracy. And so other people are like everything that happens just has to be a coincidence, and that the truth usually isn't at either extreme. Don't be hateful. If you're a follower of Christ, don't be hateful. The common people loved the Messiah. He wasn't hateful. There were times when he lashed out at the self-righteous, at the people who looked to be the most righteous. But he was on a commission from Yahweh. Don't be hateful. We are supposed to exhibit the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's no law against any of those things. Don't be hateful, brothers and sisters. How we speak to other people speaks volumes about who we are. We are called to be kind. People a lot of times take kindness for weakness, but being kind is not being weak. Being kind is actually being strong. The reason kind is strong is because it's more difficult for us to be kind than it is for us to be mean. Being mean is what comes naturally according to our fleshly person, according to our human nature. That's what we want to do. We want to lash out. We don't want to turn the other cheek. We want to curse someone that curses us first. We want to slap someone that slaps us first. Being hateful or ugly is what comes natural. Being kind is more difficult. Therefore, kind is the stronger position. Being kind is strong. Don't allow the hate that you are going to see. It's inevitable. It's going to come, especially in the political sphere. Hate is going to come. Do not allow the hate that you see rub off on you. Act differently. Be kind. And lastly, or at least I think this will be my last point, is recognize that Yahweh is in control. A lot of people don't even believe that. But the Bible teaches that Yahweh has the freest will of all. One old theologian, he is dead now, he is one of my favorite theologians. He said it like this. He said, man has free will and Yahweh has free will. But anytime man's will bumps into Yahweh's will, Yahweh wins. That's because Yahweh's will is the freest. He is the most sovereign. If Yahweh wants something to happen, he can make it happen here on the earth. Yahweh can even take a bad occurrence and use that exact same bad occurrence for his goodwill and purposes. We see this in the book of Genesis, where Joseph's brothers threw him into a well or a pit and then later sold him to the Ishmaelite traders, and he ended up in Egypt. And in the end, when Joseph was second in command, only Pharaoh in the throne was greater than Joseph, but Pharaoh had given him all authority in all of Egypt. He was second in command, and when he finally revealed himself to his brothers that he was doing good and he was leader in all of Egypt, they apologized, and he said, don't worry. He said, you meant it for evil, but Yahweh meant it for good. One action. Man meant for evil. Yahweh meant for good. Yahweh's in control. No matter who is president of the United States of America or who is a ruler in another country, the book of Daniel tells us that the Most High, his name is Yahweh, the Most High rules in the kingdoms of men, and he sets over those kingdoms whoever he wants. And the King James says even sometimes the basest of men. So no matter who is at that top presidential position in America, Yahweh is still in control, and they cannot do or accomplish anything unless Yahweh allows it. And you say, well, why does Yahweh allow all this bad and all this evil to take place? We are not Yahweh. We don't have that intelligent of a mind. When Yeshua was hanging on the torture stake, people may have asked, why is Yahweh allowing this innocent man to be tortured and crucified? But Yahweh had a purpose. Yahweh's will was being carried out even when the most heinous crime of all time was taking place against his only begotten son, Yeshua. So believe that Yahweh's in control. Trust in Yahweh being in control. People have asked me about what took place on January 6th at the Capitol. I'm a man of shalom. I do not condone violence. I do not condone aggressive violence. I don't believe that it is our place to be on the offensive in violence in any cause. I don't care who you are, who you say you belong to, whether you are a Trump supporter, whether you're a Biden supporter, whether you're part of the Black Lives Matter movement. It doesn't matter who you are. Violence on the offensive, harming other people's person or property, I don't believe that a child of Yahweh is to be about that. Now, self-defense, I think, is another matter. I do believe in light matters, in matters that do not threaten our life, that we're supposed to turn the other cheek and take it. I believe if we're being persecuted for our faith, we're supposed to stand there and die in strength for Yahweh and Yeshua, if needs be. But in cases where there's criminal activity upon our family that harms our life, like in the case of a murderer coming in your house or a rapist coming in your house, I believe the scriptures teach that we have a right to defend ourselves and try to fight off the criminal, even if it means putting them to death out of self-defense. But we are not supposed to take the offensive. So that which took place upon the Capitol building was not a Christian act, and I condemn it. I was so thankful to see there's a podcast that I listen to from time to time called Into the Woods with Phil Robertson. Now, I don't agree with everything that Phil Robertson believes. I do believe he is a good Christian man, though. And I was so pleased to see him and his sons, Jace and Al, condemn that which took place at that Capitol building. So that's not the answer. That was foolish. That was buffoonery. That's not the answer to America's problems. A lot of people quote Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 7:14, and say, if my people which are called by my name will humble themselves, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. And that's how most people quote it. Most of the time when it's quoted verbatim or in a social media post, that's how it's quoted, but it's a misquotation. They leave out what is arguably the most important part in the promise. Now, I believe that that particular passage was not written to 21st century America, but I believe there's a principle there. There is a principle that if Yahweh's people, which are called by his name, will humble themselves and seek his face, here's the part that's usually left out, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. Brothers and sisters, the land of America or any other land on this earth will not be healed unless you and we as a nation turn from our wicked ways. We allow lawlessness in this country. We have legalized lawless acts in this country. And that goes for every president that has ruled since I have been an adult and able to vote since the age of 18. They have okayed lawless acts that are defined as wickedness in the law of Yahweh. God bless America. A lot of people got upset here recently because there was some videotape going around where people said something about God damn America. Well, I don't belong to the Democratic Party. I don't belong to the Republican Party. I don't belong to the Libertarian Party. I am a child of Yahweh. And let me tell you, Yahweh will damn America unless we turn from our wicked ways. He has no obligation to bless a nation that legalizes lawless activity. This is the Christian response to current events in America.